Hello Vikings, and welcome to Valheim. Today we're going to be building a traditional mead hall, or feasting hall. This structure will be based on the historic recreation that the Midgard Historical Center in Norway has made. Here are a few of the reference images that I'll be using to try and recreate this structure. I'll also leave a link in the description for Wikipedia and their website if you wish to learn more as well. Now to start off with, this build is completely experimental. I know I'll have a few hurdles to tackle, but to start, we must get the foundation down and have the floor structured. After the first attempt, I realized that I need to do the diagonal portion a little bit differently, so I decided to start straight away with the diagonal instead of trying to bring it from the center like original. I feel like this was a better method to get the shape I was going for. And the next step would just be to fill in the floor. At this point, the floor was done, with the hole left in the center for the fire pit, kettle, and cooking racks. Next thing to do is to start on the side and to erect the walls. Unfortunately here my hammer broke and I did not have a covered workbench, so I had to run back to my main base. But upon returning, first thing I did was to go ahead and get the workbench covered for on-site repairs. I left gaps in the support beams for doors because, for some reason, whenever you put a support beam over a door, you cannot walk through it or crouch through it. It becomes completely impassable. Here's a little stop to slow down, just to kind of look and see what we've gotten so far before we start on the roof. It's coming along, I think. But soon we'll be reaching our first hurdle, and that is the overhang from the thatch roofing. When the thatch roofs are placed on top of a horizontal support beam, there is very little overhang. But to achieve this overhang, I wanted to see if I could get on top and at least offset it somewhat, but I was not happy. I wanted to snap in place. So then I decided to take some of the 1x1 flooring just to kind of get a look for it and see how it sat. This is the method I ended up choosing. Waking up to the rain was interesting. For the first probably half of this build, I did not understand the mechanic of rain damaging your wood pieces that are not covered by a thatch roof. So throughout the build, every time it rained, I did run into a challenge of having to repair as I built. As you can see, the little void wedge section. This was one of the issues I knew I was going to run into going into this build if I decided to overhang the roof away from the actual walls. But I did find a way around this to wedge in another little 1x1 floor halfway across and then to place a 45-degree angle thatch roof on top of that. That way it just kind of clips into the one adjacent to it and creating a solid surface for the roof. Here's the placement of the wedge, slowed down so that you can actually see it, how it's placed. this point I was deciding on how to extend the ledge here so that I could place on the angled face of the front wall. I ended up deciding on the half horizontal support beams as the best method to place these pieces. Unfortunately, these corner pieces are really finagly to get in place, and I had to try a few things before I eventually found the edge of the block to put it on. After messing around with the other side, I found it easier to just put the corner pieces on before actually putting on the lined up pieces. Here I'm just trying to attach a wall halfway on the pillar, like on the other side, but it only lets you do it from one side of the pillar. So I found out if you just walk on the outside, it'll let you put it on halfway. This right here is the beginning of me trying to place the struts to support the baseline of the roof, but also to prepare for the second level, which is going to act kind of as the chimney. Well, at this point, I ran out of materials. I've been playing for a little over an hour. It's late at night, so I just decided to call it quits for then. I also think I'm going to end this video here. The building's really coming along. There's a good bit left to do, but part 2 will have all of that. Also, I've already got plans to make a meadery to supply this mead hole with mead. Until next time.